Նորին Սուրբ Օծություն Տեր Գարեգին երկրորդ ծայրագույն պատրիարք եւ ամենայն հայոց կաթողիկոսը. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the Republic of Armenia, Armen Sarkisyan and Nune Sarkisyan. The Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan and Anna Hakopian. His Holiness Gheorghe II, the Supreme Patriarch and Catholicos of all Armenians.
Orchestra conducted by Maestro Constantin Orbelian. Conductor, General Director and Artistic Director of the Spentiaran National Academic Theatre of Opera and Ballet. And we will have a chance to fully enjoy his and their talents this evening. And with that, the third of the 2018 Aurora Prize Trilogy of ceremonies has begun.
You've just enjoyed the prelude to the opera Almast by Alexander Spendiarian, who was among the greats of Armenian classical music and for whom this concert hall is named. You saw his statue on the way in. Almast premiered here in this hall at its opening in 1933. The grandeur of this music is perfectly reflective of the nature of this evening's celebration in honor of the 2018 Aurora Prize Laureate. Two significant dates also highlight the solemnity of today's events. The first is the centennial of Armenian statehood. Without the independent republic established on May 28 in 1918, there would not have been a Soviet Republic of Armenia, nor an independent Republic of Armenia in 1991. It is difficult to overestimate the significance of this short-lived republic. The second is the 2800th birthday of the city of Yerevan, to which we will return at the end of this program. This makes Yerevan one of the oldest continuously settled cities in the world, plus it's 29 years older than Rome. I'm David Ignatius, and I want to introduce to this amazing audience the voice of a young generation of talented, forward-looking activists, Lebanese-born Dalia Attallah.
Thank you, David. Let me also add that I'm the proud recipient of an Aurora Gratitude Scholarship, the Amal Clooney Scholarship. And as a result, I was blessed to have attended the United World College here in Dilijan, Armenia. I have had the honor of standing beside this man for the last 2 days. You know David Ignatius as a world-renowned journalist, analyst, and novelist. You also know him because he has been right here on the Aurora stage since the beginning for these 3 years.
Thank you, Dalia. I said last night at Tumo that Dalia looks a little like Amal Clooney. I was a little disappointed that she didn't say, I look a little like George Clooney. But I understand. I have indeed been on the Aurora stage for 3 years, but this is the first time that I have the honor of introducing to you the President of the Republic of Armenia, His Excellency, Mr. Arman Sarkisyan. Please welcome him to the stage. Mr. President.
Վեհապարտեր, մեծարգո պարոն վարչապետ, ազգային ժողովի մեծարգո նախագահ, Aurora մրցանակի պարոնայք հիմնադիրներ, մրցանակակիրներ, մասնակիցներ, ձեր գերազանցություններ, տիկնայք և պարոնայք, սիրելի բարեկամներ, Aurora նշանակում է արշալույս։ Արշալույսը նոր օր, նոր օրը նոր սկիզբ։ Հատկանշանական է, որ Aurora-ի հերթական մրցանակաբաշխությունը տեղի է ունենում նոր Հայաստանում, երբ համայն հայության և հատկապես երիտասարդության մեջ կտրուկ ավելացել է ձգտումը դեպի ազատություն, լույս ու երազանք։ Եվ իհարկե, որևէ երազանք չի կարող իրականություն դառնալ առանց մարդասիրության, սրտացավության, հանդուրժողականության ու երկխոսության։ Ավելի քան 100 տարի առաջ հայ ժողովրդի դեմ իրագործած ցեղասպանությունը որպես մարդկության դեմ ուղղված ծանրագույն հանցագործություն դարձավ խարան աշխարհի ճակատի վրա։ Ավելի քան 100 տարի առաջ մեր ժողովուրդը զգաց, թե ինչ մեծ արժեք ունեն օգնության ձեռքը, գթասիրտությունը, մարդասիրությունը եւ անկախ նրանից, թե ով է այդ ձեռքը մեկնում, անկախ այդ մարդու ազգությունից, կրոնից եւ իհարկե ձեռքի գույնից։ Ցեղասպանության հարվածից հետո մեր ժողովուրդը ուժ գտավ ոչ միայն վերապրել, այլև վերստեղծել իր հայրենիքը եւ իհարկե չմոռանալ անցյալը։ Իրոք, ուժեղը ոչ թե նա է, ով ուժ ունի, այլ նա, ով իր մեջ ապրելու, վերածնվելու, պայքարելու եւ հանդուրժող լինելու ուժ է գտնում։ Սիրելի բարեկամներ, գնահատելի է, որ այս մրցանակի հիմնադիրները ներդրում են կատարում հումանիզմի տարածման գործում։ Հիշենք, որ այդպես են վարվել նաև մեզ հետ, նաև նրանք, ովքեր ավելի քան 1 դար առաջ Սիրիայում, Լիբանանում, Եգիպտոսում, Իրաքում, Ֆրանսիայում, Ռուսաստանում, Միացյալ Նահանգներում, Ավստրալիայում ապաստան եւ օգնություն են տվել ցեղասպանությունից մազապուրց եղած մեր ժողովրդի զավակներին։ Եվ ահա այսօր մենք ձգտում ենք վերադարձնել այն, ինչ ստացել ենք ավելի քան 100 տարի առաջ։ Այսօր արշալույսին Aurora մրցանակի դափնեկրի անունը հնչեց բիբլիական Արարատի հայացքի ներքո։ Դրանով իսկ մենք մեր հայկական ուղերձը տարածում ենք աշխարհով մեկ։ Եվ այս է ուղերձը։ Մենք մեր պատմության ու կամքով, մեր պատմությամբ ու կյանքով մասն ենք կազմում աշխարհի, որն այսօր կրկին երկխոսելու, միմյանց լսելու փոխադարձ հարգանքի եւ հանդուրժողականության կարիք ունի։ Дорогие друзья, мир и толерантность, уважение прав и свобод человека и наций, почтение к другим культурам, традициям и религиям – это великое свойство высокой гуманности. Поэтому не случайно, что Республика Армения объявила международное признание и осуждение геноцида армян одним из приоритетов своей внешней политики. Не случайно, что в Организации Объединенных Наций и на других международных площадках мы предлагаем все усилия, чтобы не допустить повторения где-либо в мире этого преступления против человечества. Не случайно, что Армения ведет последовательную борьбу за международное признание права народа Нагорного Карабаха, право на самостоятельно распоряжаться своей судьбой. И не случайно, что Армения была готова и сделала шаги по нормализации отношений Турции, которые, правда, остались без ответа. И, конечно, не случайно, что недавние большие политические изменения в Армении произошли без кровопролития и в целом в мирной и толерантной атмосфере. Пережив жесточайший геноцид, хорошо зная цену любви и ненависти, жизни и смерти, Армения предлагает искреннюю и честную дружбу и сотрудничество не только своим соседям и странам региона, но и всем в этом большом мире. И международная премия «Аврора» – пример этого мирного послания всему человечеству. Dear friends, it's my great honor and pleasure to welcome all of you as the President of the Republic of Armenia at this glorious ceremony. As you all know, Armenia is one of the cradles of the civilization, which represented and represents thousands of years of creation, progress, and achievements. We have succeeded in building a unique culture and contributed to the human evolution and global progress in science, architecture, music, literature. We have left a deep cultural heritage and our footprint in the universal history. However, we also struggled for the survival and the right to live and succeed. After the darkest pages of our history, the Armenian genocide, this nation was strong to rise like a phoenix. And this is the power of the Armenian. This is the power of Armenian essence. This is the strength of the Armenian spirit. Aurora. Aurora means a bright start of the day, a morning, a daylight, a sunshine. Every morning, the sunlight sends us a new hope, a new life, a new expectation. So is the new Armenia, with a new ambition and new vision. In this context, Aurora Prize has a very specific and very special meaning and serves as a bridge between Armenia and the entire world, between those in need and those who can lend a helping hand, between the action and gratitude. Tonight, we are here to recognize all those whose dedication has helped to save lives, prevent new tragedies, and give a supporting hand, helping others to create their own story of a phoenix rising from the ashes. Armenia is a strongly committed country that contributes to dialogue and stability worldwide. Armenia is strongly committed to defend human values and rights, memory and gratitude, peace, dialogue, and cooperation is our message to this world. Thank you. Տիկնայք և պարոնայք, թույլ տվեք կրկին շնորհավորել այս տարվա Aurora մրցանակի մրցանակակրին, կրկին անգամ շնորհավորել Aurora-ի հիմնադիրներին, այն մարդկային հումանիտար աշխատանքի համար, որ կատարում են, և կրկին անգամ ողջունել մեր բոլոր հյուրերին Հայաստանում։ Բարի եք եկել։ Շնորհակալ եմ։
Thank you, Mr. President. I understood the English. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's an auspicious beginning for this program tonight. This year, the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative turned 3, and so the Aurora Prize ceremony, too, is in threes.
Today's program is the third part of the prize ceremony trilogy. Now, we want to share with you the parts of the ceremony that some of you may have missed. The others will get a chance to recall those unique moments. Let's look at the screen.
Gracias. predlaganie Aurora je rozmerné. Čo lámu, sunita Krishnan, je Hector Thomas Gonzalez Castillo.
Children are also getting the education.
Para hacer morir a un inocente que lo único que quiere es caminar, atravesar un país para llegar a trabajar, tener una vida digna.
That is my mission. My mission in life is to end sex slavery from.
College Dilijan in Armenia.
Second part of the trilogy will focus
Hand of God.
That's a very
The only message I'd like to
with your medal.
All these additives as it was.
We are here in part because the Aurora Prize
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And so we're here to introduce to you the laureate whose name was announced by Arsha Luis, the young girl you just saw in the video, early this morning at the Aurora Arsha Luis sunrise ceremony at Horvi Rap in the shadow of Mount Ararat, a place of real and symbolic importance for all religions. Awakening. We don't say it enough. This is the Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity. And we wanted to announce the name of the laureate who has done that all his life and will do so even more intensely this year with Aurora. And here's a video.
Rohingya Muslims have lived in Rakhine State since 11th century. But since 1982, the government do not want to accept Rohingya people as an ethnic group. They don't issue citizenship to us. They say that we are illegal immigrants from Bangladesh.
They try to call us Bengali, but we are not from Bangladesh. Who doesn't want to give this land to Bangladesh? We want to live under this Burmese government under law and order.
Rohingya people is one of the most persecuted minorities in the world. The Rakhine extremists attack us, but the authorities do not take any action. Our people are rejected to apply for the job, for education, and for healthcare. We cannot travel anywhere without permission.
Now we cannot vote. So what is the law? Where is the law? Discrimination as we are Muslim.
So I started to fight for the rights of my people. I am the only Rohingya lawyer in this area who can complain to the authorities and who can inform other countries. So the authorities are not fully satisfied with me. In total, I spent more than 10 years in prison. I am a lawyer, but now the law and order is not for us.
Yeah, you can see there very bad condition. For this 3 years, no job, no nothing to eat.
We formed a committee to purchase rice and distribute it to the very poor. I also started to provide education to our children and elderly people.
We also appointed nearly 110 teachers, and more than 10,000 children are also getting the education. The new crisis broke out in August 2017 in northern Rakhine State. Thousands of Rohingya people lost their lives. Many drowned fleeing. It was the biggest exodus of Rohingya people from Myanmar. More than half of the population now live in refugee camps. The situation is still very tense. So many of our relations are also there, but we cannot go and see a support to them, provide anything to them. Bit by bit, they are doing such thing for genocide. I don't want to leave my land. I am encouraging my people to stay here. I have faith that one day we will achieve our rights.
I wanted to invite to the stage the 2018 Aurora Prize laureate, Mr. Cho Laon, who struggles, as you saw, against a modern tragedy, together with the co-founder of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative and a member of the Aurora Selection Committee, a man who is a personal hero of mine and who in his life has embodied the virtues of what I want to call sweet reason, the Enlightenment belief that ideas matter. Vartan Gregorian. With Mr. Cho also, please. Yes. If Mr. Cho, our laureate, would make a few remarks, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chola Ong from Rakhine State, Sitwe. I was selected this morning from Aurora Humanitarian Initiative Committee that I am the laureate of this Aurora Prize for 2018. I thank you all of these laureate committee members and to all who support for this Aurora Prize to honor this Aurora Prize to me. And I am also thanks to all Armenian people and international community, this government, those are helping to this Aurora humanitarian initiative. So we need your Armenian helps to solve our problem, Rohingya problem, in our Myanmar, that to give pressure for peaceful solution for our citizenship right and for humanitarian assistance. So this is all my request to Armenian people and Armenian government. Thank you.
And to present the statuette and give a few remarks, Vartan Grigoryan.
Dr. Yes.
This morning, at the dawn, which has been with us for thousands of years, brought light, brought a new Arshalus, not Mardiganian, but a healthy, beautiful, young, 14-year-old Arshalus. And I'd like Arshalus to come here. Where are you, Arshalus? I can see you. It's Arshalus who read Dolores' name, not in a Hollywood-style envelope, but a small envelope which had one name only, Aung's name. Now Arshalus is going to give a statue, which we gave, because this one is going to remind our laureate and his people that there are sometimes life heroes who give a damn about dignity, freedom, universal values applied to a helpless minority that does not seek separation or wants to not to disembark, but to embark on the caravan of civilization. They want self-determination, citizenship, and dignity in their own country, and recognition of their autonomy. So I'd like to thank Arshalus for the news she brought. It's a new symbol of Armenia, that we're not land of victims, but also land of future, which Arshalus represents. And Arshalus gave you this, sir, to remind you also that Armenians in a century ago suffered genocide, appreciate what it means, and now instead of mourning, they have decided to help other parts of the world to remind, to awaken the conscience, and to appeal to mankind the one fact that we're small, but we can be great, powerful witness for humanity, awaken humanity's conscience, the notion of shame, appreciation of fellow human beings as creatures of one God or one creation. If one is atheist, that we're here as passengers on this earth. Let's not kill each other, let's not defame each other, but let's try to save each other for the future of mankind. So congratulations, and Arshalus, I'm very proud of you.
Let's thank Vartan Grigoryan and the 2018 Aurora Laureate, Mr. Cho, as they return to their seats. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will begin to share some of the musical selections that have been prepared for tonight. We begin with a rising star, Diana Adamian, a laureate of several international competitions, including being awarded first place in the Menuhin competition. She'll be performing Komitas, who is revered not just for his musical genius, but because he too was a savior. We speak often about saviors at Aurora. Komitas, whose 150th birthday will be celebrated next year, saved parts of Armenian culture which stood the risk of total destruction, just like the Armenian people. He gathered musical fragments and didn't just save them, he cultivated them. And today you will hear just one sample, Kurunk, the crane, the bird of spring, to which Armenians link their longing for a home and a homeland. Our concert continues with a solemn aria from the opera Arshak II by the composer Tigran Chukhajian, who is one of the founders of Armenian opera. Arshak II's story is the heroic page of our history and serves as a bridge of time between the past and present history of Armenia. David Babiants is the soloist.
Yes, God on come for mer gira, kanzler parajan khortak, kanter masis sar pazar, harlini vean sasan, ganz varare pali, tashnamo. Vor apri mishtazat yerjani kozor az garazat yerkrum
The next composition is an Italian aria, one that is famously difficult to execute. Druids in Gaul, conquered by the Romans, prepare for rebellion while ancient gods bless them and predict freedom and the end of slavery. I think I see the linkage here.
Anahit Mkhitaryan will perform Casta Diva from the opera Norma by Vincenzo Bellini. magnificent. The next soloist has played at Carnegie Hall, London's Wigmore Hall, and venues around the world to full and delighted houses. He has performed with Yo-Yo Ma and has collaborated with the London Symphony Orchestra, the Seoul Philharmonic, and many others. He creates a powerful, mellow tone in all registers, easily plays the most difficult passages, and gives meaning to the term artist. Narek Haknazarian, cellist. Winner of many international Tchaikovsky competitions. Truly, this is a man who needs no introduction. We will enjoy from Narek Haknazarian the Vocalize by Rachmaninoff and Giovanni Solima's Lamentation. Thank you, Narak. Thank you for those beautiful and haunting performances.
We will travel in time and distance, from ancient times to the contemporary a cappella Hover State Chamber Choir of Armenia, a favorite at international festivals. They will be performing Bach because, well, everyone should perform Bach, especially when his music evokes the global values of humanity that Aurora espouses.
And now, for all of you, a special surprise that recapitulates the life of a man beloved by all, a life told in chapters by some special friends who I call to stage.
From Tabriz, Iran, to New York City, by way of Lebanon, California, Texas, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and numerous other places in between. A poor boy, yearning for knowledge, who I hope became an educated man, now at the helm of an organization dedicated to disseminating knowledge to all the world. A dreamer who learned to take action. A wandering Armenian who ended up on the society pages of the New York Times. A son who became a father. A man who became a husband. This is the life I could never have expected. The life it has been my privilege to lead.
Now, as I sit in my office under a portrait of Andrew Carnegie, I am given to reflecting on the long voyage that brought me here. In Lebanon, my first mentor, Simon Varatzian, the last prime minister of the short-lived First Republic of Armenia, was a surrogate father, teacher, and benevolent benefactor. He had written to me to the effect that when I first came to Beirut, I was a small fish in a big pond. From now on, he concluded, I would be a big fish in a small pond. Everything I had accomplished in my first 10 years, I owed primarily to him. He became very fond of my wife, Claire, admiring her courage, tenacity, and independence. He was touched by the fact that out of her love for me and her interest in Armenian culture, she had learned Armenian.
Many mentors, friends, and strangers have helped and guided me along the way, as well, of course, as my wife and children. But sometimes have a bit of suspicion that fate may have had a hand in the proceeding as well. I first read about Andrew Carnegie when I was 12, and I was fascinated by the lives of great inventors like Edison and Fulton, and self-made men like Carnegie.
When I had read about him when I was young, I had a great empathy for Carnegie and detected some similarities in our backgrounds. We were both boys from poor families, boys who loved books but could not afford to buy or even rent them. Young men who traveled to another country to find their destinies. We both knew in our hearts, in our bones, that education would save us and direct us, that, in fact, education is the key to a better life for everyone, no matter who they are or where they are born. We had something else in common too. We both loved books and libraries.
I certainly was proud and felt triumphant that the boy from Tabriz, who was too poor to own his own volumes and was even unable to borrow and rent books, ended up lending millions of books to the people of New York, including the multitude of newcomers who continue to flock here to the city near the Statue of Liberty.
To this day, the walls of my office are lined with books. People send me books and talk to me about books, and I still delight in my hand the weight of a book. A book to me is still one of the most extraordinary creations of man, because it is a gift of knowledge. However it came into your possession, a book is a treasure trove that you can carry with you and learn from wherever and whenever you choose. A book contains dreams, ideas, and ideals. It contains notions about reality and utopia, about revolutions, and clue about life and freedom and happiness.
A library is a place where books can be lent freely to those seeking knowledge, is a testament to men and women's concern and caring for each other and for each other's children, for everyone's children. To construct and cherish a library is to invest not only in ourselves, but in future generations. A library is a legacy. A library is a mirror to the past and a window to the future.
As someone who has had the opportunity to live in different countries and amongst different cultures, I know how extensive the cultural divide between different peoples can seem, how exotic differing beliefs and customs can appear to be. So it seems to me that knowledge about the world, both its tangible qualities and its ephemeral mysteries, and about each other, our glories and our follies, is the only way to narrow the great gulfs that divide us.
As a young boy in Tabriz, I had read about the terrible devastations wrought by the Great War, including the deportations, atrocities, and genocides perpetrated against the civilian populations. During World War II, I read about huge, fierce battles, tremendous destruction, massive forced migrations of refugees, about hunger, starvation, and illness. At the time, I never imagined that one day I would have the honor and the duty to carry on the work of Andrew Carnegie, who had dedicated himself to the cause of peaceful resolutions to conflict and to working for international peace.
One thing is clear. Peace will be rooted in understanding how the differences between us, between states, between peoples and nations cause conflict, and in finding ways to managing those differences instead of letting them explode into hostilities. That is why for many years we have had a program, Understanding the Roots of Conflict, and finding ways to make the world a less dangerous place to live. A place in which we must believe that peace is always within reach, perhaps just over the horizon. True peace is not merely the absence of war, but also the presence of understanding.
Andrew Carnegie himself said that he wanted the philanthropies he had begun to do real and permanent good in this world. I had no money, so I've learned through Carnegie's legacy what is possible to do with money. Give it away. In much the same way I had learned earlier how a boy who had no books could grow up to be a man dedicated to using the resources of many to provide books for millions. So perhaps, though I have not made a poet of myself, well, not yet anyway, I am at least continuing on the path that has led me here from halfway around the world and sometimes back again. Led me to learn and teach and strive and struggle.
Before I invite our dear friend Vartan Grigoryan to the stage, let me introduce to you the presenters who you just heard from, reading from Vartan's words, two of his co-founders of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative and his colleagues on the Aurora Prize Selection Committee who've been such patient players in this drama that we wanted to present. Let me introduce them. Gareth Evans, President Emeritus, International Crisis Group, former Foreign Minister of Australia. Samantha Power, Anna Lynn Professor of Practice of Global Leadership and Public Policy at Harvard Kennedy School, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Ruben Vardanyan, impact investor and social entrepreneur, co-founder of the IDEA Foundation and the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative. Lord Ara Darzi, director of the Institute of Global Health Innovation at the Imperial College of London. Dr. Shireen Ebadi, Nobel laureate, an Iranian lawyer, former judge, and human rights activist. Dr. Bernard Kouchner, co-founder of the organization Médecins Sans Frontières, former French foreign minister and former minister of health. Mary Robinson, former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, former President of Ireland. Hila Jilani, former United Nations Special Representative to the Secretary General on Human Rights Defenders. Nubar Afayad, founder and CEO. Flagship pioneering, scientific innovator, professional entrepreneur, and philanthropist, co-founder of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative. Ernesto Zedillo, director of the Center for the Study of Globalization at Yale University, former president of Mexico. And George Clooney, co-founder of Not on Our Watch, humanitarian performer and filmmaker, chairman of the Aurora Prize Selection Committee. And now, with great emotion from all of us, I want to invite our cherished friend and mentor, Vartan Grigoryan, to the stage.
Thank you very much. I'm very moved. I'm usually not speechless, but I try to find some words. I know now why I kept all day yesterday, the day before, every minute busy, so I won't notice about this great cabal they were organizing. Second, today, I'm so stupid. 3 people, my colleagues, at my book, and I thought it must be on sale, $1 a copy, and they have bought it and brought to the concert. So I was very ashamed to tell them this is not the place to sign autograph. So during the intermission, I signed them as fast as possible, hoping that they'll take home to read. Anyway, my life has been very strange, great, but the description is correct. I have been helped with strangers everywhere in my life. And that's the empathy and sympathy. I had nothing when I went to Beirut, and I've been on my own since age 15. But one thing I knew, that books are instruments of liberation. Education I considered a helicopter that takes off from a village burning. And destination was everywhere and nowhere. And one thing I have to correct, my wife, who died a month ago, said to me, when I became associate professor with tenure at San Francisco State, I came and said, at long last, we can have a bourgeois life for the rest of our lives. I'm a tenure professor at San Francisco State. And she was shocked. She said, do you mean all these efforts from childhood on, this was your dream, to be associate professor of San Francisco State with tenure and commute back and forth? Where is your sense of ambition and aspiration? Well, she changed my life in many ways because she inspired me to seek what is impossible. So I'm grateful to America, but more important, I'm grateful to Armenia because all my teachers, they're the ones who raised me. One of them, actually today, I received a book at the Matenadaran, Onik Yeganyan, who was my elementary school teacher in Tabriz when I attended Russian Armenian school. I came 1966, visited him to thank him. And the others are all over Beirut and other places, which I was taught. But I'm most grateful also when I had no money to learn French, a paraplegic poet taught me in the evenings how to learn French for a year. And a gambler taught me in between card games correct spelling of French grammar because I had said, I have nothing, but I'm ready to learn. And then it was my great pride to tell my French teacher who said, you'll never be able to learn French in 1 year. But unfortunately, she had died when I received the Légion d'honneur. I want to dedicate to him. And last thing I will tell you also, my English teacher, I don't know if Aso Tavitian is here or not, my English teacher taught Aso English and me too. And then he said, one day, Vartan, if you work hard, you come to AUB, attend the American University of Beirut. But in 2001, guess what? Yo-Yo Ma and others were invited to go to AUB, receive honorary degree, and I was commencement speaker. But I said, I will come with one condition. If you bring my English teacher to be in the audience. And I meant that. If she does not come, I would not come. So English teacher was sitting right there. I said, sir, I've gone around the world, I've come, and I've fulfilled your dream for me. I'm giving now commencement address of American University of Beirut with the English that you taught me. Mistakes I make are mine, eloquence is yours. That was my highest ambition. And one more point. I'm happy to be a librarian. Librarian was not ended. Education has not ended. For the first time in world history, every individual has capacity to have their own library of Alexandria. It's no longer confined to the pharaohs. Everybody can have it. So we have the risk to learn. And in recent commencement address, I took this instrument. I said, this is iPhone. Guess what? Entire Greek language is here, literature. but you still have to read it. Otherwise, the knowledge, now storage business rather than knowledge business. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all of our presenters, to the incomparable Barton Grigorian, who embodies the special qualities that we think of Armenians as prizing as a people, the love of knowledge and the decency that he's shown through his life, but also embodies the qualities that are universal. And it's such a pleasure to be able to honor Barton Grigorian. So now I want to ask you all to turn your attention to the screen, which I hope will descend for a review of Aurora's accomplishments of this last year. Up on the sides.
The Aurora Humanitarian Index tells us that the risk of war and terrorism are perceived to be the most pressing global humanitarian challenges in all continents. In that world, the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative continues to provide support to those on the ground putting themselves at risk while helping those in the greatest need and expanding the Aurora impact around the world. 3 Armenians co-founded the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative and launched it on March 10, 2015 in New York. They did so on behalf of the survivors of the Armenian genocide and in gratitude to their saviors. The 100 Lives Project. The initiative was launched with the 100 Lives Project, intended to express gratitude for the benevolent intervention of institutions and individuals, often strangers, who helped Armenians to survive the genocide. 100 Lives shared more than 300 stories of Armenian genocide survivors, their saviors, and their descendants in 6 languages. These stories raised awareness about the Armenian experience and highlighting need to take action today to support modern-day saviors. Based on this content, a series of special artistic events were organized in collaboration with Marine Alz in Gyumri, Tbilisi, and St. Petersburg to reinforce and advance 100 Lives mission, to celebrate those who helped Armenians in need 100 years ago, and to continue in their spirit by supporting people and organizations that keep the legacy of gratitude alive. The Aurora Prize. Inspired by these stories, Aurora wanted to transform Armenians' gratitude into action by celebrating and supporting the heroic actions of today's heroes and saviors. And so, the Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity was established. Over 3 years, 1,494 nominations have been made in 13 languages for 876 unique candidates from 115 countries. These nominations have been evaluated by 22 professionals and leaders of humanitarian and civil society organizations and presented for the selection committee's consideration. The committee, which selects the annual Aurora Prize finalists and laureate, is comprised of 12 humanitarians, human rights activists, Nobel Peace Prize laureates, and former heads of state, and is chaired by Academy Award-winning actor and philanthropist George Clooney. Since its inception, the Aurora Prize Selection Committee has shortlisted 11 humanitarians for the prize and chosen 2 laureates for their exceptional impact, commitment, and courage. The 2016 and 2017 laureates, Marguerite Barankidze and Dr. Tom Katina, have together nominated 6 organizations that inspired their work to share $2 million in awards. Aurora thus continues the cycle of giving and expands invaluable and essential humanitarian work around the world. Today, 19 projects in 14 countries benefit from this largesse, impacting the lives of thousands of people in Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East.
June 10th is the day that the 2018 Aurora Prize Laureate is announced.
Gratitude Scholarships. The descendants of the survivors of the Armenian genocide seek to express gratitude to those who helped save the victims of the genocide by supporting educational initiatives and providing scholarships. 100 academic scholarships are given to at-risk youth from the Middle East who have been affected by conflict, displacement, and poverty. The scholarship program runs between 2015 and 2023. To date, 31 students from 9 countries have benefited from an education within the internationally acclaimed United World College network of schools and at the American University of Armenia. The scholarship program is valued at $7 million. Aurora Humanitarian Initiative provided grants to humanitarian projects and promoting public awareness of humanitarian efforts, helping to solve some of the most pressing humanitarian challenges in the world.
My name is Ilani. I am 17 years old. I live in Jerusalem.
I'm Palestinian refugee. I live in Lebanon. I'm originally from Sudan.
My name is Dalia Atalla and I am from Lebanon.
Soon, Aurora will launch the Vartan Gregorian Scholarship, seeking to inspire young scholars and researchers to study the Armenian experience of the 20th century. Aurora Engagement. Aurora actively invests and promotes efforts to preserve and promote Armenian culture and heritage. Various institutions have received more than $200,000 to date in support. From 2016 to 2018, 7,567 volunteers have expressed a desire to get involved in preparations of Aurora Prize weekends. Aurora Humanitarian Initiative has invited talents to present their ideas and vision about gratitude and humanitarian action. Some 3,000 photographers, directors, writers, and young artists from more than 50 countries participated in this global humanitarian movement. Dozens of artists, performers, researchers, media celebrities, humanitarian and business leaders presented Aurora's mission and ideas within their communities. Many of them attended one or more of the 7 Aurora Dialogues held in 6 major cities around the world. Media outlets around the world published over 1,500 articles and stories covering the Aurora Prize and the projects of the initiative.
The Aurora Prize social media channels reached over 69 million people.
Contributors and partners. The Aurora Humanitarian Initiative was founded by 3 people committed to honoring the memory of the survivors of the genocide by supporting projects that honor their saviors. Since that time, more than 300 individuals and organizations have been inspired to join the founders in transforming a nation's gratitude to action. Over $40 million has been spent to implement the programs of the Aurora Humanitarian Initiative. Around $10 million came as contributions by generous supporters of Aurora. The rest was donated by the co-founders. The Aurora Humanitarian Initiative is transforming the Armenian experience into a global movement committed to inspiring everyone to respect and cherish our common humanity. Aurora's impact has reached all continents. The awareness about Aurora is increasing over the years, and those around the world who have heard about the initiative have positive attitudes towards it. With this positive impact, we believe that empowering individuals who save lives, despite great personal risk, offers hope to those in need and inspires global humanitarian action. Join Aurora and support modern-day heroes, giving life and hope to those with the most urgent humanitarian needs.
Finally, we will hear Surjit Gloria by the composer Vache Sharafian, dedicated to the memory of victims of the Armenian genocide in 1915. It will be performed by special guests from Germany, Matthias Wurm on the viola and tenor Karl Timt, together with Gevorg Debakian on the Armenian duduk. In 2015 to 2016, Surjit Gloria was included in the Dresden Symphony Concert Series Laureate, dedicated to the recognition of the Armenian genocide, which perhaps influenced the Bundestag decision to recognize that genocide some months later. The Aurora presence in Germany was reinforced during this last year with the successful, thought-provoking Aurora Dialogues held in Berlin in December and a Komitas museum program here in Yerevan last year.
Спасибо. Surgite gloriae, ed exorandi locolor.
Surgite una cum prudentibus virginibus. Alleluia. Surgite parate lampadis cum lacrimabus. Alleluia. Surgite, somnio non cadentes, obstupentes, alleluia. Surgite, adorate, lacrimati, proclamate, alleluia.
Thank you very much. The last piece of our program is an excerpt from the opera Anoush, music by Armen Tigranyan, based on a poem by writer and prominent Armenian humanist Hovhannes Tumanyan. He was a great advocate for children and refugees during and after the years of the genocide. The 150th anniversary of his birth will be celebrated next year, and his stories, fables, and tales are known to every child and adult. Please welcome once more the Yerevan Opera and Ballet Theatre Orchestra and Choir. Dear Aurora, I am Dalia from Lebanon. I am 18 years old, just 1 year older than you. I listen to music. I search for the answers to life's many questions. During the year, I travel several times to Armenia from Lebanon on paths that are safe and secure. The paths of your life were not. In your book, you recreated your travels, forced and full of hellish adventures, from Turkey through Russia and Europe to the United States 100 years ago. And that became the film Ravished Armenia. You wrote the book about your life, and you played yourself in the film. Arsha Luis, Aurora Jan. This is how Armenians address those close to them. Does it calm your soul now to know that what must have caused you indescribable pain is a source of hope and inspiration for me, for us, 100 years later? Trying to communicate with you about all this is very difficult and compelling. Fate or some higher power saved you from being actually crucified, since the crosses were enough just for 16 girls. The 17th one that would have been yours just wasn't there. But you chose to carry your own cross, putting aside your own pain and bravely and honestly sharing with the world the tormented life stories of thousands of orphaned girls. The words of your undefeated soul awakened the world 100 years ago. And I am one of those who carries the echo of that undefeated soul. I now understand that even today, I am surrounded by auroras, yesterdays and todays.
Thank you, Dalia, on behalf of all of us, and if I can say this on behalf of the memory of Aurora. Thank you for caring so deeply. And now I want to invite all the Aurora heroes to the stage. This year's laureate, Mr. Cho La-on, and finalists Ms. Sunita Krishnan and Father Hector Tomas Gonzalez Castillo. And the laureates and finalists, please come up as I call your names from years past who are here. Dr. Tom Katina, Saida Ghulam Fatima, Marguerite Barankitsa, and Bernard Kinby. Please come on stage. I want to announce, as our heroes make their way to the stage, that the other two finalists this year, Sunita and Father Hector, will each receive $30,000 from the Aurora Foundation to help with their good work. We have on this stage people from 8 countries and 3 continents. Together, we honor Aurora's memory and Aurora's mission. And we conclude this weekend of confirming our commitment by paying homage to one of the oldest cities of the world. The name of this city is Yerevan, which celebrates the 2800th anniversary of its founding this year, making it one of the oldest continuously inhabited settlements in the world. Yerevan.
And now a song dedicated to Yerevan Erebuni, first sung in 1968 on the 2750th anniversary of the city. Happy birthday, Yerevan. Happy 2800th anniversary.
Thank you, dear Arsha Luis, Maestro orchestra, chorus, the 2018 Aurora Prize ceremony is officially concluded. Thank you for joining us. See you next time. And remember, the nomination period for the 2019 Aurora Prize is officially open.
Thank
you very much. Congratulations. It was such a